ring. I feel like it'll be a little entertaining. I don't know how long he's gonna last in with these big shots coming at him, but hey, only time will tell. You know, I'm not here to hype that shit. Not even my business. That's somebody else fish to fry.
Yeah.
You know, I got my own fish to fry.
Terence Crawford is not going to do anything to Canelo Alvarez. Terence Crawford, yes, he's good. He's a 4-division world champion, 2-division undisputed, but he couldn't even hurt Majimov.
Is that they think that Canelo is easy work because of the fact that he's flat-footed and he just kind of like, he does basic, I would say. He has basic skills, but he's really good at those basic fundamental skills.
Charlo explains why he thinks Canelo will beat Terence Crawford. He says the main factor is how long Crawford can handle the heavy punches coming his way. Charlo notes that Crawford is already moving up in weight to face Canelo, which makes the fight even harder. He believes the matchup depends on how Crawford deals with Canelo's strength and pressure across the rounds. Analysts argue that Terence could not noticeably hurt Majimov, who is far below Canelo's level. Even though Crawford looked great against Errol Spence, this is a completely different type of challenge. Canelo is a proven champion, more active in recent years, and younger, making him a tougher opponent for Bud.
That never got in the ring with anything like a Terence Crawford. That never got in the ring with a former champion, with an elite fighter. And he couldn't hurt Majimov. Canelo Alvarez is no Errol Spence, ladies and gentlemen. I know that some of y'all are hyped because what Terence Crawford did an incredible performance and an incredible job versus Errol the True Spence that was supposed to be the big fish, and he turned the big fish into tuna fish on your outline, on your local supermarket. But Canelo Alvarez is not Errol Spence, my brothers. Canelo Alvarez is not Amir Khan. Canelo Alvarez is not Cobra. Canelo Alvarez is not Gamboa. Canelo Alvarez is not Felix Diaz. Canelo Alvarez is not Sean Porter. Canelo Alvarez is none of those guys, ladies and gentlemen. Canelo Alvarez is none of those guys. Canelo Alvarez is not the mean machine. Canelo Alvarez is Canelo Alvarez, regarded as one of the greats, and not just the Mexican greats. I don't like how y'all like try to put it. Oh no, he's the best Mexican, just because you don't want to say that he's one of the greatest that ever laced him up. Canelo Alvarez is one of the greatest that ever laced him up. Has carried the sport of boxing on his shoulder. And let me say it like this: leading up to the fight, Canelo Alvarez is more active than Terence Crawford. Canelo Alvarez is more seasoned than Canelo Alvarez is more seasoned than Terence Crawford. He's younger than Terence Crawford. He's more active than Terence Crawford. His resume is better than Terence Crawford. The people that he's fought is better than Terence Crawford. He's fought every damn style. He's fought the best Russians at the time with Kovalev. He fought the best Asian in Kazakhstan and Triple G.
L. Brook says he picks Canelo Alvarez in a fight with Terence Crawford because Canelo is a completely different level of fighter than anyone Crawford has faced before. Brook points out that Crawford's win over Errol Spence was impressive, but it does not prepare him for Canelo's style. Canelo's strength, experience, and control at higher weight classes separate him from Spence and others. Brook believes Crawford has never shared the ring with someone who has Canelo's power, skill, and ring awareness, which is why this matchup may be one of the hardest of Crawford's career.
Got to sway towards Canelo. Crawford's gonna have to, move up, and I knew when I boxed Golovkin, there's a big difference, especially with someone that, fighting a middleweight, a mediocre world champion's okay, but when you're fighting someone like, Canelo or Golovkin, it's a different kettle of fish, I have to lean towards Canelo, but Crawford's very, very, very good.
You think Crawford's still got the legs? Obviously, he's very much got great IQ in the ring, but he's very much a good mover as well. Do you feel like he's still got the legs to be maybe out-moving Canelo if he needs to?
Well, I don't know. I think when we look back at Mayweather when he beat Canelo, he's a mover. Crawford's not really like Mayweather in that aspect. He's more, he kind of sets his feet and he's cute with how he approaches chucking shots and moving. You know what I mean? I think it's a different fight to Mayweather, and Canelo's obviously a different fighter from when he boxed Mayweather.
Analysts argue that Terence Crawford might simply be too small to hurt Canelo Alvarez. especially since he is moving up nearly 3 weight classes with little time spent at 154. They compare this to Floyd Mayweather, who fought many elite opponents before facing Canelo, while Crawford has only met Madrimov at that level. Gabe Rosado adds that fighters used to strong opponents at higher weights do not feel the same effect from smaller punchers, which raises concerns about how Crawford will deal with Canelo's power.
I think that Crawford may be too small to really impact and hurt Canelo Alvarez. He's moving up pretty much 3 weight classes, which is exactly what I said. I'm not counting 154. He had 1 fight, bro. He had 1 fight. Floyd Mayweather got more fights at 54 than Terence Crawford. Boop. Because Crawford, he fought Madrimov. Floyd fought De La Hoya, Cotto, and then he fought Canelo at 152. So you had an aging Floyd who fought more times at the higher weight class, and Bud looks to be a bigger dude than Floyd Mayweather, right? So when Floyd was 37, he moved to 52 and fought a much bigger Canelo. Crawford's 37, he fighting Madrimov with 11 fights. Not the same. It's not. I don't care what y'all talking about. The Bud Buddy's just gonna have to be mad at me because truth is truth. So that's a valid question. And again, I'll be glad when this fight's over. Put it that way. I don't care who wins. May the best man win. I hope it's a double knockout. I already told y'all. Just because I'm just over it, and I want to get back to some of the other fights. There's other fights that are interesting, and they make more sense. Like Brian Norman, Devin Haney. I'm interested in Yard versus Benavidez, etc. There's some fights we're hearing about, blah, blah, blah. So I'll be glad when this is over, to be 100% honest. There's more fights that actually fans have been requesting that matter, blah, blah, blah. But Rosado, he brought up a lot of good points. He was saying Crawford, he thinks he's too small. And he even gave his own personal experience. He said, I'm 180, 190 solid. And when I fight guys that are welterweights, even if they crack and they're known for being menacing, murderous punchers at the lower weight classes, 140, 147, them moving up, it feel like pillows when they fight me. When I get hit with their punches, it feel like pillows because I'm used to getting hit by triple, right? He used to Triple G work. He used to Lemieux work. So to me, this is kind of common sense, but common sense ain't that common, right?
Analysts continue to highlight one of the biggest questions in a fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. They ask whether Crawford can take Canelo's punches and deal with the kind of power that has stopped or slowed many fighters before him. Some believe Canelo looks flat-footed, but experts say this is misleading. His style relies on balance, timing, and clean technique. By setting his feet and sticking to the basics, Canelo makes sure every shot carries real force. This is the challenge facing Crawford. His defense and movement may allow him to avoid punches for long stretches, but Canelo's patience means he eventually lands. Once openings appear, the question becomes whether Crawford can stay calm under heavy pressure. Many analysts believe the outcome may not depend on who lands more punches, but whether Crawford's chin and body can hold up.
Crawford gonna be able to take Canelo's punches? And is Canelo gonna be skilled enough to not keep on getting banged up by Crawford and his craftiness? It's the battle of two greats, you know what I mean? So I believe that Canelo, you really see him, when you see him fight, he almost got a one-way of style, and it works for him. He likes to get in there and bang you up. He likes to throw hard punches. He likes to break you down. He likes to hit you everywhere. You're gonna hit in your body, your arms, the forehead, the ear, the neck. Wherever he can land a good one, he's gonna land it. And that usually breaks him down. So with some fighters, I see is that they think that Canelo is easy work because of the fact that he's flat-footed and he just kind of he does basic, I would say. He has basic skills, but he's really good at those basic fundamental skills. He does everything almost like perfect. But yeah, he's flat-footed, but you got to realize that he also has hell of a head movement and body movement. He understands and he's perfected that rolling with the punch thing.
Crawford's win over Errol Spence is remembered as one of boxing's most complete performances. Crawford showed every part of his skill set, including speed, accuracy, timing, defense, and finishing ability. He broke down a fighter who was seen as one of the top welterweights and did it with ease. For many, that night confirmed Crawford as one of the best of his era. Now his training partners say he looks even sharper than he did then. They note that his speed is still there, his reactions are strong, and his conditioning is excellent. Even though he is older, Crawford has improved his focus and polished his approach. Those watching his recent training believe he is in the best form of his career. That confidence may give him an important edge against someone as dangerous as Canelo.
Sharper than ever, more dangerous than ever, and most importantly, he looks like the greatest version of himself. Now, can we actually believe this? Can Terence Crawford at nearly 39 years old, with him being inactive, with him being heavier than ever, is it possible that the man will actually look better than ever? Now, let's think about it, ladies and gentlemen. When you're talking about someone like Terence Crawford or Canelo Alvarez, you're talking about the elite of the elite. And if I'm gonna be honest, Terence Crawford, when he fought Errol Spence, in my opinion, in all my years of watching combat sports, I'm a MMA guy turned into boxing. But I have never, ever in my life watched an elite championship fight and had my jaw absolutely drop to the floor with the greatness that I witnessed. And that is the only way to describe what Terence Crawford did versus Errol Spence. In my opinion, that was the greatest performance in our lifetime. I mean, I can't go back to the old days, I'm not a historian, but as far as I'm concerned, that was the greatest performance I have ever seen in my life. And especially to who he did it to, Errol Spence, dangerous southpaw. At the time, I believe he was pound for pound number 3. And Terence Crawford absolutely annihilated him.
Former middleweight champion Kelly Pavlik shared his thoughts on how Crawford could beat Canelo. His focus is on the early rounds. Pavlik says Crawford cannot let Canelo control the pace. Instead, he needs to use footwork, combinations, and ring IQ to force Canelo to work harder than usual. The idea is simple. If Crawford can make Canelo throw more punches, move around the ring, and chase the action, he can drain the champion's energy. Canelo has shown signs of slowing down late in long fights. Pavlik believes this is where Crawford has a chance. By keeping the pressure steady early, Crawford can limit Canelo's power in the later rounds and possibly win on points or score a late stoppage.
In Canelo's ass a little early on, put Canelo behind, right? Even if it's 3 out of the first 4 rounds, because when Canelo has to fight, okay, when Canelo has to step it up, after 7 rounds, he starts to fade a little bit. We've seen that with Bivol. We've seen it in a lot of his fights with Triple G. You know, when Canelo could control the fight and the ring generalship, like, yeah, he could fight 12 rounds pretty good. But when Canelo gets pushed early on in the fight, he starts to fade muscle endurance-wise. So if I was Crawford, I would kind of stay in his ass a little bit on, you know, the early rounds and make him have to play catch-up in rounds 3, 4, 5. And then by round 7, that's where, you know, he could really step it up.
Dan Rafael pointed out an important difference between the two fighters. He mentioned that Canelo has already faced and taken punches from fighters who moved up from lighter divisions. Floyd Mayweather, Amir Khan, and Miguel Cotto are examples of smaller opponents who challenged him at higher weights. Canelo not only fought them but adjusted to their speed and timing, showing he could handle shots from lighter fighters. Crawford, on the other hand, has not faced a naturally larger opponent with the strength Canelo has. While Crawford has dominated across divisions, the move to face someone who belongs at higher weights is a new test. Rafael's point highlights that Canelo's experience at the highest level against all types of fighters may give him an advantage over Crawford, who has yet to deal with that size and power.
And Rafael kind of made a great point when talking about sizes, because he said if you look at them two together now, they look the same size. He said people have got the idea of the size thing wrong. It's not looking at them as a physical package, it's who has absorbed the bigger shots in the weight division. So, and it was good. It was a very good point. It was like Canelo has been hit by light heavyweights and super middleweights for the best part of a decade.
Basically,
he's so used to taking those shots, whereas Crawford hasn't. Crawford's been hit by 140 guys and 147 guys for the best part of a decade.
Yeah.
What's Crawford going to be like? So basically, trying to say, Canelo could easily absorb Crawford shots. Can Crawford easily absorb Canelo's punches?
if you're taking shots from Triple G, Sergey Kovalev, Dmitry Bivol, and you're staying on your feet, not getting hurt,
Not even getting wobbled.
just literally shaking it off.
Yeah.
You can take Terence Crawford shots.
100%.
Mikey Garcia has been very direct in his view. He believes Canelo can seriously hurt Terence Crawford. Garcia says that while Crawford is highly skilled, his defense may not be enough to stop the force of Canelo's punches. He emphasized the body shots, noting that Canelo's hooks and uppercuts to the body are some of his strongest weapons. Garcia says Crawford is a great technician, but technique alone may not hold up against real power at a higher weight. He sees the fight as dangerous for Crawford because once Canelo starts landing clean punches, the momentum can change fast. Garcia's comments reflect the common concern that the size and power gap might be too much for Crawford to overcome.
When he takes a shot from Canelo, one of those uppercuts from Gia or those...
He could get dropped, or he feels it enough to be like, fuck this, I'm boxing. And goes on the bicycle and turns southpaw for the rest of the night. And I wouldn't blame him either. Fuck it, you're gonna go in there and collect a fucking paycheck at that point.
Right.
You're not gonna go get hurt.
Right.
What good is it to get fucking 20, 30 million if you are fucking hurt physically, end up in the hospital and hurt just physically, life-changing, you don't want that shit.
Do you think Canelo could hurt him? It could be life-changing?
Sure, he's that big, fool. One punch could fucking knock him out bad enough to hurt his eye socket or detached retina. You never fucking know.
Right.
So no one wants that shit.
Crawford said if he beats him, he's in the top 3 GOATs of all time.
Oh, for sure. If Crawford beats Canelo, then for sure. Give him all the fucking props in the world, bro. And he actually does have a chance. It's not like he doesn't have a chance. Don't be too surprised if he fucking pulls it off in the decision.
Antonio looked at Crawford's chances with more optimism, focusing on his mindset. He says Crawford is known for visualizing his fights before they happen. This means he already understands what Canelo brings and has mentally prepared for it. According to Antonio, Crawford's strength is his ability to adjust and think inside the ring. He has never depended only on physical advantages but has built his career on making changes, breaking down opponents, and setting the pace. He believes the fight is not about weight, but about skill. Antonio thinks that if Crawford sticks to his plan, his versatility and IQ can help him reduce Canelo's physical edge.
Terence gotta be Terence, bro. He's a real deep thinker. He processed fights like nobody else. And he's processed this Canelo fight. He's seen it. He went through it 2 or 3 times already. He knows how this ends. You can tell the way he shadow boxes. He visualizing Canelo being right there in front of him. You understand? Look at the movement. That's all you got to do. Look at the movement. And that's the type of master boxer that Canelo is going to be facing. And the only thing I say is Canelo hasn't faced an opponent like this in a long time. You know what I mean? I think Canelo's going to have to go back to the Caleb Plant fight and look that good, that active, that, you feel me, moving with that type of grace to beat Terence Crawford. Because weight ain't gonna make the difference. It ain't gonna be the weight. It's gonna be the skill set.
That's all for today's video. Stay tuned.